Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar on the principles of lifestyle financial planning. I'm John Muldoon and I have been an independent financial advisor and financial planner for 30 years. Thank you for joining me. This is the first time we have delivered a webinar in this business, so I really appreciate your time. What I would like to do is delve a little bit and discuss the principles of lifestyle financial planning and what they mean in practice. I've noticed over the years that people have their own ideas and notions as to what financial planning means to them. For some it's about budgeting, for others it's about income expenditure, saving for the future. For others it's about investing, buying stocks and shares, buying second properties and so on. For others it's purely about the retirement plans they have in place. Of course, financial planning does include all of these things, but lifestyle planning takes things that bit further, because it begins with identifying what it is you want out of life, what are your objectives, what are your dreams, and what do you want to achieve. Recently, I've been working with a family who've been clients of mine for probably a generation. And what we've been doing there is reviewing the full family affairs, where they are now that they're close to retirement. And when I went to see the clients, I discovered that the gentleman had bought himself a new sports car. I say the gentleman because it's unlikely that his wife had anything to do with it. He then took me for a spin in that car and scared the living daylights out of me. But that's someone who's enjoyed the freedom and the financial security that they have for many, many years. But how did they get there? Well, there are three key words that couple bring to mind for me. And one of them is vision, planning, and work. They put together a business many, many years ago, and they both worked in it. And They really had a vision of what they wanted it to be, and they've worked very hard at that, and they planned it out. I know they strategically planned it, and they constantly review that, and they put in many, many years of hard work through good times and bad. I guess these are a bit like the principles of good lifestyle financial planning. So let me expand a little bit more on lifestyle financial planning specifically. The first key principle is focus, followed by an evaluation stage, then planning or the plan stage, implementation, and then review. So if we look first of all at focus, what that is primarily about is the individual or the couple or the business thinking about where they are and where they want to get to. What are their objectives, personally, for the business, in their career? How do they want to live their lives? They need clarity. And without that clarity, we can't really move forward. Once someone knows what they want, which is the starting point, it's very important that we evaluate their current position. How much do they earn? What do they spend? What are their future costs? So if we can identify those things, it helps us see the building blocks with which we can work. What are their assets? What are their debts? Then we move to the planning stage. So when we know where we want to go, what we've got to work with, then we can start to build a plan. What options do they have? How can we maybe meet or start to meet those goals, both short-term, medium-term, and long-term? What concerns do they have? Then we move to the implementation. We start this off by having a quick recap on exactly everything they want to achieve, both now, medium-term, and the long-term. And once we agree that, we can move forward with implementation. What products and plans, what tools and techniques are there out there to enable us to get the plans into place and to implement those recommendations. The final part in the jigsaw is the review stage, which to me is essential. This is where we look at everything we've tried to achieve, how is everything going, and I suggest that reviews, essential element, are carried out on at least an annual basis, possibly twice a year. It's very important that you build a relationship with your financial planner because it helps us gear you more towards achieving the success. The close attention helps you build the possibility of achieving your financial security and freedom. What I've noticed in the past couple of years is that the approach to life seems to have changed. Time is now much more valuable. It always was, but it seems to be discussed at greater length. Family, lifestyle, flexibility of work, all of these things, maybe even working from home, living for now, all of these topics are in the mainstream. And even then, we have the key issue of we're all living longer, so we have to address these issues. Again, coming back to lifestyle financial planning, we have to look at where you are now. Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, maybe 20 years? And of course, we're all different. Some people want career breaks. Some people want a bigger house, or they want to move. It's not just about leaving a legacy anymore. And I like my clients to take time to think about what it is they really want, and then come back, review that, and then we can build a plan. I'll give you an example of this. Recently, I've been dealing with a 40-year-old businesswoman and her husband. They already have a very nice lifestyle. Originally, she wanted to retire at 65, and now she's decided she would like to retire at 57. So we've had to review and revise all the plans that she has in place. They want to move country. They're thinking, let's get to 57, when is the earliest she can officially retire, and let's see if we can sell the business. Let's see what plans we have in place. How can we achieve this objective? So we've done that. We've done that by looking at the budgets again, money in, money out. What else can the business afford to pay towards pension? And we have achieved this. So the key thing there is over the next 17 years to keep a good tight eye on that and make sure it happens for her. This whole issue of engagement is very important, as I've just done with that family. I find that many of my clients are fantastic at engaging, particularly around the issues of retirement, or maybe if they're buying a house or selling a house. So those are two key issues which really seem to make people sit up and pay attention to their financial planning. However, I find that out there, most people don't do this. We all work very hard. They spend time in their careers, go on holidays, have a decent lifestyle, but planning for the long term is ignored on a very regular basis. However, I do feel that people worry about this quite a bit. So a good way forward is to talk to a good IFA, perhaps talk to someone you trust, build your knowledge, and put a plan in place. Otherwise, things tend to drift and your plans don't come to fruition. Also, a big part of this problem is that our whole education system is inadequate. They teach very, very basic finance in schools. So I find that young people in particular, and many older people, have very, very weak or poor financial knowledge. What should be taught, and what people should be aware of, is understanding risk, how to invest, where to invest, budgeting, and so on. There are many other topics, but I think we'll leave those for another day. On the other hand, I like to help my clients build their knowledge. I like them to understand where they are currently, and I like them to understand the plans that I put in place for them to achieve financial freedom. And I like to support them with that knowledge. We like to use plain language, decent case studies. Over the past 30 years in practice, I've noticed that what everyone wants and how everybody feels about financial planning has changed. But the one thing that remains constant is that building a good plan for someone and working with them is something that feels fantastic to do as a career. I love it, and it's a process where the simple principles have remained the same. So let me recap on good lifestyle financial planning. It starts very much with organising thoughts and desires and objectives for the future. Then it moves to assessing the position that you're in currently, whether it's an individual, a couple, or a family. Then the ways to achieve this. So what can be put in place to help this happen? The plan of action is very important, and essential to all of it is the review. When you put this together and you do the reviews on a regular basis, and you pay attention and you take the thing seriously, financial strength and freedom can be achieved quite easily. If there is one area I would ask you to consider intently, it's the whole area of focus and establishing your objectives for the future. Please think about what it is that you want in the first place, and that helps you focus on it. If you want to learn more, please listen in on my podcasts, follow me on the social channels. If you have any questions, please reach out on my email address. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found it beneficial.